So in this video, we're going to talk about finishing up the city, and a reminder for those of you that were here yesterday, we were doing analogous color scheme, and we're going to continue with the analogous colors. Those are the colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. It just so happens with this project that not only are they analogous, but they're warm colors or cool colors that you are using. All right, so this is the one that we worked on yesterday. And again, if you were not here yesterday, I'll give you a little heads up on what we did, and we're actually going to continue doing that here today, because I know most of you did not finish. So sorry guys, I put my pastel somewhere. There it is. All right, please put your pencils down and look up here. Put your pencils down, look up here. All right, so yesterday we were working on the dark side of each of our buildings. And for those of you that were here yesterday, you're probably done with the dark side, wondering, what do I do next? So what we are going to do is we are going to, anybody that's not done, finish the dark side, and then we're going to do the light side. I'll show you a little trick, though. So please put your pencils down, everyone. Okay, to do that, this is going to be a review, actually, here. The dark side is going to be opposite of where your moon or your sun is. You can see that in this building. And so my sun, is on the left side. That means that my buildings are going to be dark on the right side. And so these two buildings that are side by side are going to be shaded on the right side with a heavy red because that's my darkest color. We also talked yesterday about using what are called blending stumps because it's a little easier to get the edges. And so with the blending stump and this really straight edge, I'm going to take my blending stump and go right along that edge. And I'm going to go over through the top of it. And then I'm just going to blend. In fact, I'm going to go right over the top of my doors and my windows. Now, if you're really, really fast and not taking your time, you might see a little bit of line, but you can see I'm going slow here, and I'm kind of going towards the vanishing point as much as possible. All right, so this is going to be my dark side of the building. And you're also going to want to have a paper towel handy so that every once in a while you can take and just kind of dump that extra powder off onto the paper towel. All right, so then what we are going to do is we're going to use our blending stump only with a little bit of color on it to make the light side of the building. So here we go. I have the light side here, and what I did is I actually rubbed, and if you don't have any on, you can do this. Otherwise, I probably have quite a bit, but I'm just going to rub a little bit onto my blending stump, and I'm going to go with the lighter version on the left side. Now again, just a review, I'm doing the left side because that's where my sun happens to be. I'm keeping this as smooth as possible without a lot of lines. So every once in a while I have to stop and say, okay, I got to put a little bit more on my blending stump. This would be a light side to the building. So I'm going to go up to that edge and then I'm going to blend it this way. Ooh, a little bit more careful than what I just did. A little more careful. All right, so I'm going to blend it down, and then I would blend it across, being the light side, and then I would put the full dark mode over here on this. Okay, the other thing I want to point out is then you can start developing your landscape and your foreground. You can see back here I used orange, and up here I used yellow. I actually put some red in right here. I'm going to tell you my reasoning. Ladies, gentlemen, okay? I used all of these colors in my sky, and this entire thing is going to be done with analogous colors. I did not have much orange at this point in my mountains or hills back here, so I put orange in here. My foreground right here, all right, is like the lightest area, which is going to be my sun color. So I put a lot of yellow down here. But I also wanted to show the shadows on this side, so I put some red in. I think I could still go a little bit darker, say right here, to show that there's a shadow from the building. And so I chose my darkest color, which happens to turn into orange with yellow. So I'm going to keep it predominantly the red, and I'm not going to blend it a whole bunch. Now, since this is a large area, I'm going to wrap it around my finger, and I'm just going to push it into the paper and I'm going to blend it out. I could keep this entire side really dark. I could say, hey, I want to transition this, or slowly have it get lighter. And again, I'm not worried about my sidewalks. I'm not worried about my doors or my windows today, because that's something I'm going to bring out with colored pencil later on. Our whole purpose right now is using the analogous colors, but showing light and dark for the different sides of the buildings. All right? Do you have any questions?